Hello everyone, this is Ray again and welcome to the $60,000 challenge. I decided to do something a little different this time. I'm going to answer some viewer mail. There's a number of questions that I seem to get repeatedly, and so try to clear up any confusion people might have about this project and how it works. I figured I'd just answer them once and for all. As a refresher, the $60,000 challenge is an experiment in financial incentive-based weight loss. It involves a bet between myself and Ted Frank. We each would like to lose 60 pounds. We each would like to do this in a 9-month time frame. We started December 1st. That means it ends August 31st. For each pound in that period of time that I lose, Ted owes me $1,000. For each pound he loses, I owe him $1,000. This is capped at 60 pounds, and $60,000 is the maximum liability. It's a pretty straightforward bet, but nonetheless it inspires certain questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. To begin, what if one of you loses more than 60 pounds? Well, good. That would be a good thing. We're both fat bastards, so we both probably could stand to lose more than 60 pounds. But to answer the substance of the question, we stop counting at 60. Maximum liability either of us has is $60,000. Any amount of weight that either of us loses over 60 pounds would not be counted toward the bet. A related question, what if one of you gains weight? Very similar, just as we stop counting at 60, we start counting at 0. So if one of us were to gain weight, it would be effectively 0, as if we had simply not lost any weight. That's how I interpret the rules anyway. I must admit, did not really conceive of all the mathematical possibilities before starting, but it seems to be the best way to go. Number 3, which is a good question. Do you have a contract in writing? We do not. This is strictly an oral agreement. There could be lots of potential explanations as to why we do not, but I can give you mine, and it's pretty simple. It's that Ted is a lawyer, and I am not. He's not only a lawyer, he's a pretty prominently quoted legal scholar, and I'm just a lay country journalist. So, I know a bit about contracts. I've been a realtor before, but what I know is just enough to say I won't negotiate a contract with someone who's a lawyer. Certainly not going to pay for a lawyer to do it for me. And so we're going to keep this on the honor system. The honor system and the system of YouTube. Moving on. Have either of you put any money into an escrow account? No. No, we have not. Fair question. Might be something we should look into, but as of yet, we have not. Ask me in a couple months, and maybe we will have at that point. Are you worried that this will ruin your friendship? Not especially. Moving on. Oh, this is a question I get quite often, mostly from economics geeks. And there's nothing wrong with being an economics geek. I love economics geeks, particularly if they're watching my channel. But they're a little bit off, not quite in the social sphere that the rest of us exist in. So they're very concerned with us gaming the system. They note that we could have incentive to collude with one another not to gain or lose any weight because we each face equivalent risks, and this is a major source of concern. I've seen really elaborate proposals as to how we would get around this problem. And in textbook cases, maybe you want to do that, but in reality, I just have to go back to the fact that these risks that we both face are risks that we've willingly taken on. If we weren't interested in having the risks in the first place, we simply wouldn't have entered the agreement. And so I don't see the problem. It's certainly not a problem for me. But, if you guys have more interesting solutions that you want to offer, keep mailing them in. I'm willing to hear, but it's probably not going to affect this particular round of the game. Related point, related question. A number of people ask, why don't we give the money to charity instead of to one another? I think some have raised this question from the perspective of it being a social good for us. Others have figured that a charity could be a charity system could be an effective third party. Maybe it could hedge against this gaming the system risk. I have nothing against charity. I participate in some charities. I'd kind of rather get the money first. Then if I want to give that money to a charity, I have the option. If I want to instead go get a massage at an Asian parlor, I have that option as well. So it's just not as strong an incentive is what it comes down to, and that's why we're doing this in the first place. Another question. Does this experiment encourage unhealthy dieting? It very well may. We didn't, I don't think it encourages or discourages it. The goal we've set of 60 pounds in 9 months for 2 men who are over 250 pounds each, I think it's a challenge, but it's fully realistic. I don't think there's anything inherent in the amount or the time frame that would indicate we would have to undergo some unhealthy transformation. And let's face it, being over 250 pounds, in my case, 265 pounds at 5'9", is not healthy itself. And so there are relatively few things I could do, considering that pace, that would make myself worse off than I started. Final question, and it's sort of the most important one, is where's Ted? Because I've given a few of my updates. The last one was 10 days ago, and I've lost another about 5.5 pounds since that update. I have an answer to this question, and I can provide it to you. So here's where we started. On December 1st, I was 265.8 pounds. I set a goal of 205.8 pounds at the end of 9 months. Ted was 279 pounds. He set a goal of 219 pounds at the end of 9 months. I have lost 21.4 pounds, which means I'm currently 244.4 pounds. Ted's lost 9 pounds, so he is 270 pounds. That means that I am owed from Ted $21,400. I owe to Ted $9,000, and that makes for a net to me of $12,400. So that's where things stand today, January 29th, 2009. My favorite part. This is what I look like on January 29th, 2009, 244.4 pounds. And yes, that is all of me. And that's all for now. Thank you very much.